Hey, stalker girl, I'm looking at you.
I've got a funny story about that.
Don't you roofie me.
Welcome back to the Forever Frenemies show. This is going to be the dumbest episode we ever
Very
do.
special episode.
Yeah, special is special.
Yeah.
This will be, in fact, the dumbest episode to date. Fortunately, we are not in a pool in Miami. We will be going to different destinations soon, I believe.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do some fun stuff like that, and we're also going to get costumes for Ben.
Well, because if we have to be around each other, we might as well do something that's going to make it not terrible.
Yeah. I mean, but this show in particular. Yeah.
It's a good one.
All right, so we're going to be talking about every single time Ben has been incarcerated.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all public record too.
And I would like to say that it's been a long time, but one of them was just a couple years ago, which is a great one. That's where I got arrested on the way to my own meetup.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, that one.
So
yeah.
that'll be the last one we'll cover, but we got to do it chronologically, I guess.
I will say though, one thing a disclosure I do want to give is I absolutely, even though I hate you, I think you smell and I think you're dumb, I absolutely do applaud you for getting your life back together. I don't care. There's only one type of person that I will not applaud if they get their life together.
Yeah.
And those are that harm innocence. That is.
Yeah, we know those people.
Yeah. Those people. And the good thing is those people get absolutely wrecked when they go bye-bye. Yeah. And they actually, the bad guys that are incarcerated, they actually do a better job of policing that stuff than we do out here. But anyways, so I just want to say, I support anybody that's been able to change their life around. I'm very proud of you, and you're awesome. It's very, very hard for people to turn it around, and people that do.
Yeah, people that get it, because I went to rehab back in 2007. People that get it, generally will be more successful than if they had never gone through addiction or whatever at all, because it builds a character within you.
You have to fight. You literally have to fight.
Yeah.
It is so hard to be clean and sober, and because what happens is you guys come out, or you guys try to turn your life around, and it's very hard to get work. It's hard to get approved to rent, to do pretty much anything. It makes life 10 times harder.
Sure.
Plus, it's I feel like it's easier for a lot of people just to go back into that lifestyle and fade away and die.
Yeah. Well, I'm fortunate that none of anything that I did resulted in a felony. I did have some felony charges at different points, but they got removed for they got knocked down for plea deals and stuff like that. So very fortunate not to have anything super bad on my record. Only one time ever has my record affected me getting a job, and it was because one of the last ones that I had, the last one before I went to rehab, included assault or battery, or assault and battery. It was a violent charge, even though it was a misdemeanor. Mm-hmm. There was one place, it was if it's any violent charge in the last 10 years, we can't do it. So even though it was only a misdemeanor, anyways, yeah. So that was the only time.
There's a lot of things that happen in this studio, a lot of random things.
Yeah, people climbing in the ceiling, dogs barking, Gary crawling around. So I guess we're gonna go over all the times I went to jail today.
All right. So Ben, how many times have you been to prison?
No, never been to prison.
No prison. So you're not an all-star.
What's that?
You're not an all-star.
No. Well, I also had a very codependent family, so they always bail me out first chance they could. So I've never spent more than, I want to say, definitely not more than 48 hours. The last time I was in.
Oh, so you haven't been to jail? No,
I have. I've been in population.
Have you been to county?
I've been in population. Yeah.
For 48 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't done no time.
I haven't. You're right. I haven't
real
done
time.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that's not real time.
No. Well, I had a codependent family, so they would bail me out immediately, and so I wouldn't have to get consequences to my actions.
I know people.
I've been to jail a lot of times, but I've not spent
this is child's play over here, because the people I know, they've done.
Of course.
They've been to prison. Yeah. They've been to county. They've done time.
I've been to county. What does that mean, been to county?
When you've been to county, you've been in there for more than you've been in there 90 days plus.
It depends. At different places, you can go direct to county, though.
I'm talking
Miami-Dade County. I've been to Miami-Dade County.
All right, this is going to be child's play. Go along with you.
The stories are the better part. It's not about what happened in jail.
I mean, those stories are entertaining, too.
Yeah.
Those stories are very, 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 very entertaining. I actually have a population of people that are incarcerated. Shout out to you guys that watch me from jail and prison.
Wow. Do they send you letters?
No,
you send them letters?
No, I don't send them letters.
Should.
You guys should send me letters. Maybe I should drop my P.O. box.
Yeah. So this
I'll write you guys back. But anyways.
This is not a story about being hard in jail. This is a story about
wait,
how I got to jail.
What did he say? What did he just say? What did he say?
That also didn't happen. But
he said this.
Well, you think of the movie Get Hard. That's Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart.
He grabbed the mic. He said, "And this is not about me being hard in jail."
Yeah, right. It's not. It's not. Where's the freaking soap on a rope? I'm gonna need it.
You know who's gonna need a soap on the rope?
Who's that? Oh, Sam.
Actually, he won't even make it. I honestly, the way our judicial system is set up, he's gonna get a slap on the wrist.
I mean, if Elizabeth Holmes went to prison, I think he will go to prison.
Where's Tiffany? We need Tiffany to
Tiffany Fong?
Yeah, because she's got the inside intel. You know, she talks.
Oh, she does. I know a lot. She's told me a lot.
Yeah.
So
we got to protect Tiffany at all costs.
Oh, I love Tiffany.
She's so funny.
Yeah, she's great. She's not at all who I thought she was.
No, she's she's
good as gold.
She's just a sweetheart, and I'm like her mom sometimes. I'm like, we got to go do this, and she's like, really? I was like, yeah.
She's gonna be at Rare Evo with us.
Yeah.
Excited about that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, they told me they wanted to invite all my friends. That's what they told me, and not my enemies.
Shut up. Tell us about your time you've done, because it's so dangerous.
I never said I did time. It's the stories of how I ended up in jail are pretty good stories.
Please tell us. I met your brother, by the way. And I was like, yeah, he's like, oh, y'all gonna shoot another episode? I was like, yeah, we're gonna talk about Ben's incarcerations. He's like, oh, that'll be a good one. Yep. I haven't heard those stories for a while, but yeah.
So we have an honorable mention. We gotta start with the honorable mention, which is where I didn't actually end up in jail. But I was 15, I got caught shoplifting. So I did a lot of shoplifting when I was a kid. Why? I guess just for fun, because my friends were doing it, you know. And so I did get caught at Parisians at Town Center Mall stealing a belt. It wasn't even a name brand belt, probably. It was just a belt. And my friend was with me, and we got caught together. And I ended up having to go through mediation. I didn't go to juvie on it. They ended up letting me off, but I was arrested by security, so to speak. The guy that arrested me, years later, I would actually sell him weed. So that's a good story too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I was with my same friend who I got arrested with, and we went to meet a guy that somebody had referred us to go sell him some weed. And I guess I was probably 17 or 18 at this point, probably 18. And we show up, and who was it? The freaking security guard.
Yeah, I mean, that happens a lot. Nobody's really innocent.
Of course. But that's just an honorable mention. Yeah. I learned my lesson. I didn't get caught shoplifting again.
Okay.
But
you got caught being an idiot doing other things.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right. So this is a good one. So I was in Miami Beach. I lived in Miami for when I was 19 for about 6 months. My lease was up at the end of my apartment up here with my roommate. We decided to just moved to Miami, so we did. While we were down there, I really discovered Jägermeister, and Jägermeister definitely caused me a lot of problems. You know, I've done almost every drug there is. Never done heroin, but when I was a kid, if you were doing heroin, like you were bad news. Now all the kids do it. But the only drug I've ever taken to where I have no idea what I did or what happened is alcohol. You know, alcohol is the only thing I've ever done that I black out. There are periods that I just don't remember. The only reason I know what happened in the story is because of the police report.
See, I used to drink a heavy when I used to live in Hollywood and when I was involved in that type of lifestyle. But the only time I blacked out was when I was roofied, and I've been roofied a couple times.
Yeah.
But I've always kind of remembered what I've done.
Yeah. Aaron, did you bring the roofie? We're gonna have her take one live on.
No, because then you throw up and stuff.
You do?
Yeah, if you get roofied,
giving someone else a roofie would make me throw up.
No, if you're somebody, if you do get, God forbid, but if you do get roofied, you get, because you pass out and then you wake up vomiting and stuff. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, stalker girl, I'm looking at you.
I've got a funny story about that.
Don't you roofie me.
So I was at this 80s club with this guy that I was kind of dating at the time, but he was also my best friend. There was some interesting things there. He's now he now has 2 boyfriends.
Oh, nice.
Very attractive man, like very, 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 very attractive, like very attractive. You know, I haven't talked to him for a while, but whatever. But this is like way back when we were at this club. This guy's like, "Oh, I want to buy you a drink." I was like, "Okay." So it's my guy friend, whatever. I grab his hand and we go. And this guy takes us like to this back room. He hands me the drink and he sees my guy friend there, and he's just like, "Ugh," and he just like walked away. So me and my guy friend drank this drink. We got so sick, so sick. So sick. We were puking all over each other in the back of my car.
Some people are into that.
Our friend,
Jerry Springer episode about it.
Our poor
Vomitoriums.
friend, I think he had just turned 18.
Yeah.
He had never driven on freeways before, but he was in their band. He was both of our friends, so he had to drive home, and he was so scared. And then we were all puking all over each other. It was horrible. It was so, so horrible.
That's disgusting.
It is, but it's good because I didn't get sexually hurt. So I would prefer to be puking all over my best friend that I was dating at the time than get sexually assaulted, because that's never fun. That's also happened a couple times too.
Yeah, I haven't gone through that.
Yeah. All right, finish.
I have not gone through that.
Good.
Much sympathy and empathy for you. I think I'm supposed to be like, oh, that's terrible, Wendy.
No, it's actually funny. Like, I'm laughing.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Well, it's awkward for me.
Oh, is it?
Well, I mean, because I've never sexually abused nor been sexually abused, you know?
Well,
So,
I kind of laugh at it now because
yeah.
it's like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. Well, I think that it's a sensitive subject, and it's like, but there is power in being able to talk about it.
Is there?
Yeah, there's power in being able to talk about it, because most people that happens to like couldn't say it. So when you reference that it even happened, that's really kind of dealing with it in a way, you know?
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I did a lot of work with people with addiction and kids and with addiction and stuff, and so you know, I this is an area I've spent a lot of time dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like,
But the whole vibe of our show is we don't really care about each other. So like, that's what makes it awkward for me. Is because I'm very sorry that happened to you, but like I can't say that because like it makes it look like I care about you as a person.
Well, I think it's like a sad thing for anybody that has to like go through that.
Yeah.
But that's also why I'm very kind of like when people say mean stuff to me, I'm also very kind of cold, and I take it in and I use it in a different way, because I've actually had people do real bad things to me. So it's like, okay, your little words.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
I've been through some things in my life, and that's what one reason definitely why I'm built to be able to handle this stuff on Twitter. Like,
yeah,
it's I got 1 year growing up. I got really picked on, and it was very, very bad for 1 year. My family moved because of it, and then everything was fine. We moved and never had a problem again.
See, that sucks. Like, kids are mean.
Man, it was terrible. It
Kids
was
are
awful.
So mean. Like, I mean, we could talk. You know, we can do another episode.
We'll do another episode about that.
Got bullied, but let's hear about all
Miami Beach. I'm 19 years old, and me and my friend, we start drinking, and we are, you know, walking up and down Ocean Drive before it got, you know, really crazy. It's not even nice down there anymore. But
in the ghetto.
Exactly.
I love the ghetto though. I feel comfortable.
They make you hand them your card before you sit down to eat in a lot of the restaurants.
Oh, you know,
for breakfast.
There's some restaurants that do that in LA now. And I asked them, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
So at some point, my friend and I get separated. And I don't know how, but I only have one Birkenstock on at this time. No shirt. I have no idea where my shirt went. And that's when I got arrested for being drunk. I got arrested on the block of the police station. And you may say, you know, how did you not know that you were right in front of the police station? Were there like police cars out front? Yes, I passed out on a police car. So what happened is I passed out literally laying on a police car on the block of the police station. Officer walks up to me. 2 officers walk up. This is what the police report said. They said, "Excuse me, sir." And I picked my head up off the car and said, "F you." But I really said it. You know, they can bleep it out maybe. But I said, "F you." And so police report says at that point I put my head back down. And then the officers identified themselves as police officers to me. "Sir, this is the police." I picked my head up and said, "Well, F you too." And they tried to arrest me, and apparently I wouldn't put my hands behind my back. And so they also got me for resisting arrest, which is a pretty serious charge. It actually will come into play later on when I, you know, went into the Air Force, which is a whole other story.
What?
Yeah, that's a whole other story. Yeah. Yeah. Got kicked out for failing my drug test before I actually completed. Made it to the very last night of boot camp. I'm graduating the next day, and they told me I failed my drug test first day I got there. I went through the entire boot camp. That's another story. But that would come into play. I couldn't get certain clearances down the road because of that resisting arrest charge. And so I end up in jail in Miami Beach. And I was really insane because I was so drunk, and I was yelling, I was screaming in there. And at some
like
point,
you do on your Daily Show.
What's that? Yeah, exactly. It's just like then. And so in Atlanta, we have a law firm here called Montlick and Associates. Montlick and Associates. But back then, it was called Gilbert and Montlick. I was so drunk that I told the cops, because you could see the desk and you could talk to the cops from the cell. I said, do you know who my dad is? My dad is Gilbert Montlick, and he is going to F you up. Like, Gilbert Montlick's not a person. It was Gilbert and Montlick. You know, they're like two different guys. And I told him that's who my dad was. I was so drunk. And so
when you said, I don't know, when you said Gilbert, it reminded me of Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
That movie. That was such a weird movie.
It is a weird movie. So
Johnny Depp's still very attractive, though. That's like my type, kind of.
Yeah.
I love like the dirty, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they smell too.
Kind of. Okay, I'm going to refrain. So anyways, wait. So at that point, after I said that to them, it was going to take a very dark, serious turn.
Okay.
They sent 3 cops into the cell, and they beat the crap out of me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they came in, and they 2 of the cops, it was 2 Hispanic cops and a black cop. 2 of them came in and held me by both arms, and then the black cop, he just punched me in the stomach. He punched me in the stomach like I was out of, what do they call it? Got the wind knocked out of me the very first punch.
Yikes. And
then he just kept punching. And so I thought like I definitely like lost one fight in my life by a significant margin where I got the crap kicked out of me. And I thought that was getting beat up. No, that was not getting beat up. The day in the jail cell, I got beat up. It's when you can't take any more and it just keeps coming. So they end up throwing me on the ground, and then they all kicked me for like 2 or 3 minutes straight.
That's not okay.
Oh, no. I was bruised from head to toe. When I ended up the next day, so I ended up going from Miami Beach to Miami-Dade, Wendy County. I was there for a day and a half. And they still had the duct tape blankets from the Cuban refugees in the jail cell there in the population. So that's all you had was a duct tape blanket to sleep under on your bed. And so I got to the point where I had a place. But then I got credit time served, and they let me out in my hearing, I guess, late that afternoon or either early in the morning, whatever it was. And so I ended up walking. I got to walk with no shoes on from Miami-Dade all the way back to my apartment, which was on like 36th Street in Biscayne Boulevard, or somewhere around there anyways. And so I got to like walk through like Little Haiti. I got to walk through like it's not Georgetown. I forgot the area it is down there. What it's called, but it's like at that time it was like the toughest part of town in Miami, and I had to walk right through it with no shoes on, and it was covered in bruises from head to toe. I got back to my apartment. My roommate was like, "What happened to you?" You know, and I told him, and I was like, "I'm gonna sue those cops." I couldn't actually sue anybody back then.
You've been wanting to sue people your entire life. This is why you became very successful, so you can sue people.
Exactly. And so my friend tells me, he's like, "You can't sue the cops. They're the mafia here. You got to be kidding me." And I was like, "Dang, you're probably right. You know, like, what am I going to do? They're going to pull the tapes, of them beating me up. They're going to say, 'Oh, we lost it,' So that was my first experience in jail, and it was a very traumatic experience for a lot of different reasons. But it turned out not to be, not charges didn't stick, whatever. So that was the first time. Second time.
Well, I will say that you probably did deserve to like get in trouble, but
yeah, for sure.
You didn't deserve. I
was belligerent. That's the word I was looking for. I was belligerent.
I mean, I just don't. I think that they beat too hard.
It was too much.
I think it's too much. Like sometimes you do need. Sometimes I am in full agreement, and sometimes people do need to get knocked down a peg so they shut up, because sometimes if somebody's hysterical, like I've had to physically slap somebody because they're so hysterical and they just wouldn't stop, and I'm like trying to be calm, talk to them, and eventually. Yeah. And it snaps them out of it. So I get that.
Yeah.
But I wish they would unleash that type of force on like rapists and pedophiles and like
Yeah, I know, right?
that type of stuff. Because I'm very much against harming innocents.
Yeah. I was definitely belligerent and hysterical, but part of the reason why, like, if you've never been to jail and you just like culturally see what people say about jail, and if you've never been and you never experienced somebody in your life that went, really, like, you don't know the difference between jail and prison. And like, you don't know the difference between being there for one night, being there for 10 nights or 10 months. And so like, I'm thinking like, I'm in jail, I'm going to get raped. You know, like I'm 19 years old. I've never been before. Like, that's what I'm thinking happens in jail. That's what they say. And so I was like hysterical, belligerent, terrified, you know, the first time. After the first time, I was never scared again, obviously.
Well,
like,
I mean,
once you see what it is and you realize it, I ended up going
but
to
at
Miami-Dade.
like,
It's pretty
okay, well, but
serious.
if you like LA County,
Yeah.
like the Twin Towers, like if you go in there even for 24 hours and you piss the wrong person off, you're gonna get your ass tossed.
Well, now look, well, there's not as much of the, be very careful what I say here. There's not as much of the raping as there used to be in jail and prison. And the reason is because if people want to do that, there's plenty of people that will do that.
Correct.
But then there's another level to it, which is the power dynamic and basically doing it to punish someone or whatever. Like, I'm sure, you know, that definitely still happens. But
yeah, but it is more prevalent in prison because you're there longer and the guys are doing longer term sentences. But it does still, like LA County, it does still happen. Like if you piss the wrong person off,
definitely happens.
like you're gonna get your ass tossed.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, and certainly I wasn't trying to piss anybody off in jail. I've always, all my experiences in jail have been good in terms of I got along with everybody in there, you know. So I hang out with the brothers. I don't hang out. The white guys in the jail would scare me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic. Is the race dynamics there and what they, you know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. The brothers in jail always loved me. And so even though I wasn't there for very long, but I'm just saying like that's who I would gravitate towards and whatever. So I think that the second time I went to jail, it was a weekend and I got arrested for doing graffiti on a street sign in Atlanta. And so it was next to a Burger King.
Stupid. That's so stupid.
I was a B-boy. I tagged. I did. You know. I did.
Wait. Can you break dance?
Yeah.
Can you do something?
Not right now. Not right now. Maybe on another episode.
On the next show, can you?
It's been a while, but I mean, I can six step. I do the whole thing. Breakdancing back then was not like it is today. Breakdancing today is a lot.
Lock and drop it.
So I can't really pop lock. Can't like do that kind of stuff. But I can footwork.
So you can like.
No, that's no. I
don't even know how to footwork.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's when you're on the floor, you do windmills and freezes and.
We're gonna get this on camera.
Yeah,
like
not right now, but
yeah,
I will at some point. I can still do it. I'm sure. I mean, it's muscle memory. So, yeah. So I'm a little bit bigger than I was back then. So holding myself up I'm much stronger than I was then too. So, anyways, we'll see. So, anyways, yeah, I got arrested for spraying graffiti, and my little graffiti tag used to be Lift. Because I did a lot of shoplifting when I was younger, as we talked about. So that was my tag, Lift.
That is the dumbest.
Yeah. I don't know how people still come up with original graffiti tags by this day and age. Like, they've all been taken, but people do. So I knew, like, he was the greatest graffiti artist in the world at the time from Atlanta. His name was Totem 2. So we were like, did some breakdance at a club one time. Like, he would win international competitions for it. He was that good. I wasn't great. Like, I just like being a rebel, you know.
Did you have like this?
I was spraying graffiti the day I robbed a train.
Did you wear like the Jinko jeans and like?
You know, I wasn't allowed to wear the Jinko jeans by my mom. Thanks, Mom. I did have one pair I would like sneak and try and wear sometimes. But no, I wore a lot of sports jerseys in high school. That's really what I liked. Did
you wear like the hat? Like, do you look like Malibu's Most Wanted?
No, so the flat bill hat and all that. I never. No. I have rules about hats. I always bend them. Tuck your hair up under it. Kind of thing. Yeah, don't ever show your bangs with a hat on. That's crazy.
Well, that was like popular in the.
I didn't like that style. So, but I did go through a phase where I did dress like I was black. I did go through that phase.
Okay.
Not as bad as Malibu's Most Wanted, but like I had an Echo tattoo on my shoulder. Like I had this big Echo reversible puffy vest.
I had because that was very popular. No, I didn't have Echo. I had Rockaware because it was on sale at Burlington Coat Factory. Because it was on sale at Burlington Coat Factory.
I had a really sweet like turtleneck sweater from Echo that had this like really big rhino on it. I worked at the mall. I worked at Journeys. I was the assistant manager at Journeys. And so I had like, Journeys back then had some pretty cool clothes.
I know I want a pretzel, like a Wetzel's or an Annie's pretzel.
Stop, Wendy.
I'm so hungry.
I know, I see that. So anyways, the point is I did get arrested for that. I was in there for about 36 hours again. Got credit time served, got out. Not a huge deal. Didn't paid a fine. I don't think I didn't even had to deal with it after that. So third time I got arrested. This is a good one. We're probably going to have to do 2 parts on this.
I know, because we're running out.
Yeah.
Time. Yeah.
So what happened is I was trying to get off drugs.
Okay.
I was trying to get off drugs, and so I was trying to do things on the weekend to keep myself from calling my meth dealer and going to do meth. Mm-hmm. So I did meth from like 17 to 24. That's when I was in my drug phase. So at this point I was probably 22, and I had my uncle, who we've got to have on the show for an episode one day, from the famous mustard story. My uncle had brought my brother and my cousin and some of his other kids and stuff camping in Helen, Georgia. Have you ever been to Helen, Georgia?
No, this is the only time I've been to Georgia.
We've got to take you to Helen, Georgia. You don't like it?
Why? Why don't you like what's wrong? I
want
to
what?
Go.
The food is terrible?
You're terrible. Allergic.
So
yeah, I want to go. So this is the thing. Every time I come here to the dirty South, I don't get to sightsee or do anything.
That would be a great episode.
We should go sightseeing.
So Helen is kind of far. Helen's about 2 hours from here, but it's a small. It's a German town.
Okay.
It's a small German town that's like a touristy place.
Okay.
And so they've got all kinds of different shops, and you walk up and down the street. They've got German flags, and it's cool. This is actually where we shot one of our BitBoy specials. When we shot the one about the WEF, we went up to Helen because it's a German town. A lot of the stuff from the WEF originated, during Nazi Germany. So it's a cool little place. It's a quirky little town. It's kind of away from a lot of stuff, and so there's camping areas up there. It's in North Georgia, and so my uncle took all these kids up there, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to come up there too. That way I'm hours away from being able to do something stupid. And so I ended up there, and my uncle and we ended up going to the bar while the kids were at the hotel and stuff. There was another adult there, I'm sure. Maybe not. But we went to the bar and didn't drink that much. Had, a few beers maybe. I mean, I was definitely tipsy for sure. Maybe I had some shots. I don't remember. I wasn't like really, really drunk, but I was definitely not sober. And so, but back then, I thought that being drunk and being high were two different things.
Right.
I thought that I could drink and it's okay. I didn't realize it always led me back to what I was doing before. So I thought I was doing the right thing. So I was drinking, I smoked cigarettes and stuff. So smoking cigarettes at the bar. One thing that was really funny at the bar that night was there was an 80-year-old lady and probably about a 45.
A baby doll?
Yeah. And maybe like a 45-year-old biker guy.
Okay.
And they were freak dancing on the floor.
Why wouldn't you?
With an 80-year-old lady?
Why wouldn't you?
I probably did some breakdancing that night.
Yeah.
I always like to break out the breakdancing at weird places. But she had no teeth, and they were like making out. It was disgusting. The funniest thing I've seen probably at a bar was that night.
Why wouldn't you?
So
would you?
So at that time, I worked for a company for Home Depot. Okay. And so I always had a razor knife in my pocket. Because
most men do. They always have knives.
Well, this is like a razor knife.
Yeah, but
Home Depot they were called safety knives. So the blade would only come up about that much. So you could cut boxes, but if you cut yourself, you wouldn't cut so deep. I had a bunch of those razors in my pocket. And at some point when I was at the bar, I'd reached in my pocket and I cut my pinky finger. And it was bleeding, and it just wouldn't stop bleeding. So I'd wrap it up, get it for a minute. It was fine. Finally, it stops, but it bled for a long time. Like the wrestlers, how they'll cut their eyebrow.
Yeah,
that's how it because
it's on the bone. Yeah, it's on
yeah. So your pinky's kind of like that. Like it would just bleed and bleed and bleed. This is very important for the story, actually. So what happens is that my uncle leaves and he says, "All right, don't do anything stupid. Don't get arrested." I'm like, "Okay, sure. Like I'll have one or two more and I'll come home." So I walk back to the hotel, and I'm literally in front of the stairs to go up to the room. One last cigarette for the night. That's it. One last cigarette for the night. Smoking a cigarette, and this guy walks up to me, and he has what I thought was his girlfriend. Later I'd find out it's his sister. And walks up to me and says, hey, well, he's real drunk. He goes, hey, do you know where the Super 8 motel is? And we're literally at the Super 8 motel, right? Like, we're literally at it. It's like the sign is literally right next to me. And I'm a smart ass, you know. So I look and I said, what
Were
the
you really?
Yeah.
You're not very smart, though. You're just an ass.
So I looked at him and I said, what the you know? Like, why would you?
The front door?
Yeah, what the front door? Just like that. I probably said it like this. What the front door? Maybe that's how I said it. I don't know. It doesn't sound the same when you say front door. I said, what the F? And he got so pissed that was how I responded to him. He immediately looked at me and punched me right in the face. He goes, phew. And of course, I told you I didn't take a punch. I just didn't really, I moved my head because he hit me, but I looked right back up at him, and I was ready to go. However,
ready to go right now.
However, what I thought was his girlfriend, who was pretty cute, she immediately starts pleading with me not to hit him back. He's drunk. Please, 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 please don't hit him. Like begging me not to do something. And it touched my heart a little bit, you know. And I said, you know what? Okay, maybe I can talk to this girl tomorrow. And so I let him walk away. Well, I just can't let stuff like that go. I thought in the moment I could, but I couldn't.
Right.
And so I start creeping around the back side of the hotels while they're still walking on the front side. Yeah. I'm looking around the corner. I'm seeing where he's going. Finally get to where they're at, and he walks inside a hotel. I said, oh, well, he walked inside. I guess it's over. I was pissed, but I'm not going to go in the hotel and make a big deal about it. And so I walked down, and I turn around and walk back. Well, as I'm walking back, he looks out the hotel window and door, and he sees me through the sliding glass door. As soon as he sees me, he takes off running so fast, the door doesn't open. He runs right into the door and falls down. Then he gets up, and he runs again and takes off at me. And he runs straight up at me, and as soon as he gets up close to me, I just deck him and knock him down, like immediately. He gets down. He gets back up. Does the same thing. Runs right, boom, hit him. He goes right back down. This happened 4 or 5 times. Finally, I said, bro, look, this is ridiculous. They're going to call the cops. Let's just not do this anymore. He gets back up, runs at me again. I hit him again. For the second time in my life, I got arrested on the block of the police station. The police station was literally across the street.
You're such an idiot.
Literally across the street, the police station. And so they get there in about 1 minute. I knocked the guy down 5 or 6 times probably. And of course, I could have gotten on him and, finished the job, but it was just he was so drunk.
Yeah, you would have.
Well, yeah. He was so drunk, like he had no chance against me. He didn't have a chance against me anyway. So the point is that what happens is while we're fighting, my pinky starts bleeding again. Blood is everywhere. Blood all over him, blood all over me, blood all over my hand. It looks like a murder scene. All from my pinky, because I'm punching with my right hand, obviously, right? So he the cops show up. They put me in the back of the car. They think it's serious. Mm-hmm. And so they're talking to him. I get my phone out of my pocket in the police car and called my uncle and told him what happened. And so he eventually comes and bails me out of jail with a bad check. And we'll just move over that part. And so we end up having to go to the jail in Helen, which is like Mayberry. Mm-hmm. It's literally 2 cells. I'm from here to producer, here to allergic from the guy. Of course, we end up having a great conversation while we're in jail together. Found out he's on probation, so he's really screwed. He actually does go to real jail after that. And so that's when I found out it was his sister too. So, definitely wasn't his girlfriend. So I was definitely going to look for her the next day. Didn't find her. And so we end up having to I end up in White County jail and end up staying one night there. My uncle comes and picks me up in the morning with the bad check. And, I don't know if it ever actually got paid, but I never saw anything from it. So that was the third time I went to jail.
And there's more times?
Yeah, there's 3 to 4, depending on how you count it, 3 or 4 more.
All right. Well, we'll have to
Continue this.
continue this later because
these are fun stories.
I need a blueberry muffin.
Okay.
And pancakes would sound good. Maybe some cheese eggs.
Thought you wanted Arby's?
Arby's is good too. So I need to get those things because
Yeah.
I need to eat. No, I'm not expecting. Don't ask. The gates of life are closed.
Mine are as well.
Thank you so much for watching the dumbest episode of
This was not the dumbest episode.
Fuss.
This is the Forever Frenemy Show.